come away. Please, sweet thing, please come away with me. The wild world is calling. Let's go and sail the sea. When a long-legged sweet thing smiles and takes your breath away. To a warm place with the sweet thing you call home. Man, you better stay. You better stay. Man, you better stay. Oh, you better stay. Listen to son.
Hey, there you go. The one and only Chickenbone Slim The Biscuits. Look him up online. If you love his music, you're going to love his story, and you're going to love this next story as well, because we've got a special talent here by the name of Clara Bellino, who's going to be joining us momentarily. And I don't know if she's aware of it or not, John Bon Jovial, but we have a snippet of her next album. Now, we really wanted to be able to play something from the next album, but the producer said, no way, we're not going to pre-release before the album is finished. However, somehow, and I won't tell how, somehow we managed to get a snippet of one of the new songs off the next album, which we'll be playing in just a few moments. But right now we want to play This Is Happiness, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clara Bellino.
I was thinking about success, all I could do if I had more. This old man spoke about happiness and simple joys, but he said I crossed the village to meet the neighbors. We ate the pie and drank the wine from dusty bottles, and he said this is happiness. It's what makes the world go round. Ba 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 da ba. Ba 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 da ba. You thought time was running out. I heard the good news you got. Now you say life's a miracle, hanging in the balance. You do what you do, I'll do what you can. You know it's true, what an old man said. And this is happiness, and it makes my world go round. Ba 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 da ba. C'est ça le bonheur. C'est ce qui fait tourner le monde. Ba 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 da ba. Ba 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 da ba. Ba ba da ba. Ba ba da ba. Say this is happiness. Say it makes your world go round. Ba 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 da ba.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what Blood, Sweat, and Tears would have sounded like if they had a female lead singer. Ladies and gentlemen, Clara Bellino. Come on in here, Clara, and say hello.
Hi there. Thank you. That was funny. Thank you.
Hi. You're so
nice to be
you're
here.
so welcome. We're glad to have you here. We've been looking forward to this for some time, and I don't know if you heard or not. I don't really know the circumstances, how it was pulled off, and I don't really want to know because, then way I can plead plausible deniability. I didn't know a thing, but we managed to get a snippet of one of the songs off your next album, and we're going to play that in a couple of minutes here. But I wanted to get a chance to talk with you first and have you tell the world a little bit about Clara Bellino.
Oh, well, thank you. Okay, a little bit about me. Well, regarding the snippet, I know how it happened, and we'll keep it a mystery, but one of my producers was involved, and so it's a very small snippet. I would so love to share the whole thing with you right now. We'll just have to do that a bit later.
We'll just make it a tease.
We'll make it a tease. It's a very small tease. A little bit about me. Well, so I'm Clara Bellino. I was born in France, grew up in France, lived in the States for a couple of years. When I was 5 years old, my parents were here as teachers on a Fulbright scholarship, so we got to live in the States for a couple of years. Moved back to France and decided to start playing music. My parents asked me what I wanted to do, so I was in a conservatory for 10 years, and then I moved back here when I was 17, and that's a short synopsis of how I ended up in the States, and I've been living in California since. And mostly music is what brought me here and has kept me here so far.
And so far, it seems to be doing very well for you. You have a tremendous following as well as a great sound, which I guess one explains the other. You've done some great music, and we're glad to be able to share a couple of tracks. And the snippet is a kind of a tease, so people will want to go out and hear more of the new album when it comes out. And I hope that you or somebody from your crew will get us a track to play when the album does come out, so we can expose a complete track and get people to listen to the entire album.
We will absolutely do that.
Now, you're playing primarily in California?
No, actually, I haven't played in California in a little bit. I've been focusing on the recording. My last show was actually in San Antonio, Texas. But I also partner with a company, and I travel for trainings, and this is very spare time, but something else I do which actually funds my passion. And anytime I travel to a town for a training or a conference, I also book a show in that town. So, but other than the shows that I've played connected to that, I have played, years ago I toured France a couple of times, but I've toured up and down the West Coast, which I'm looking forward to doing again when I release the album. I went up to Seattle and Portland and Ashland and where else?
Okay.
And Nevada City, and then down south I've played in LA a few times. I was just yesterday speaking with somebody in Fresno who was saying, you need to come play at our winery and things. So anyway, I've also done over the years, a few benefits in Washington. I've played in Virginia a few times. So I love traveling.
Sounds like a great way to do it, coupling it with your extra income there that funds the program. Tell us, if you would please, a little bit about this snippet we're going to play. I understand it's about a minute and a half.
A minute and a half. Wow, that's how much they gave you. So this is a song that I originally wrote in English, and it was called Black and Blue. I sing mostly in English, but I sing in French and Spanish too, and I translated it into Spanish, and it's now called El Crepúsculo. And I recorded it at Fantasy Studios in Emeryville, which is a really nice studio close to Berkeley here, and with some wonderful producer friends and local musicians. The guitarist will be the notable musician that you will hear on this snippet, and his name is Matt Hewlett. And Matt Hewlett is the designated guitarist for Narada Michael Walden. He's played with Aretha Franklin. He's a really sweet guy. And he sounds like he was born in it, but he's been playing guitar his whole life.
Well, let's go ahead and give a listen to this 1.5-minute sneak preview of Clara's next album. It's called El Crepusculo. I hope I said that right.
Crepusculo. Crepusculo. Yes. It also exists in English, but nobody uses that word. Crepuscule refers to the dawn, the end of the day. I mean the dusk. The dusk.
Okay, the end of the day. I got you. Roll the music. Here it is.
Thank you.
And there you go, ladies and gentlemen. For the first time anywhere in the world, and I'm going to try that name again because that's just the kind of guy I am, El Crepusculo by Clara Bellino.
Yeah.
Hey, great.